Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to the highest level of StarCraft 2 with two brilliant players here in the top right spawning as our blue Terran playing for Team Liquid. It is Clem, Liquid, Clam. And in the bottom left, perhaps the greatest Protoss of his generation, the man, the myth, the legend, often referred to as the captain, sometimes as the carpenter, and sometimes as just the coolest Protoss all around. It's of course Harstem that I'm talking about over here. Representing Shopify Rebellion. There's a little bit of a Rookus up in his natural. Open up with a Stalker as well as a battery to deal with this potential bunker block. But Reaper and SCV have been stopped. So far, single SCV and single probe have been taken out. But this is definitely a positive trade here for Harstem, as he did not invest in a bunker on his opponent's side of the map. No, that was Clem who did that. God, what a clownesque play here coming out of Clem. Now trying to go up in towards the natural. But Harstem, of course, anticipating that already and decided, you know what I'm going to do, buddy? I'm going to throw down one of them pylons that blocks the entrance in towards the net and does reveal the fact that this is a Stargate opener, by the way. Clem has spotted it already, so really not revealing a whole lot. Adept not in position to deny this potential Reaper move in here. Stalker is in position, though, to deny a potential Reaper move in, as we're seeing Clem just pissing off here and then coming back instantly. Kind of surprising. Guy knows no risk. Hellion making its way around the map as well. And Stalker now a little bit out of position to deal with that Hellion potentially. You have the Oracle being controlled instantly here as Harstem spots it. And we'll take out this car without any real issues, to be quite honest. Double barracks coming down behind this. So instant 3-Rex play. Starport not even being used here after seeing that the Oracle is being popped out. It's Harstem very kind of a passive usage of this Oracle so far. Just taking out that car before going across the map. And with a single Cyclone, couple of Marines in position, I do believe that Clem should be fine. Clem actually, wow, pretty aggressive here. Really wanting to do something. It's Harstem careful, and I like that. Pretty smart. Doesn't want to lose that Oracle. Doesn't get a whole lot of scouting information though, which is also frustrating, of course. So still needs to go back to try and gather some of that. So far is playing pretty freaking blind. Really needs to try and get a bit more info down here. Revelation does go down. Sees indeed the quick swap into Stim. Combat shield most likely. As well as a reactor here on the starport. So knows exactly what he's up against. As the Reaper manages to throw a grenade in the natural. And then we'll get cleaned up here by the Phoenixes. Harstem right now, by the way, opting for a very fast Twilight Plus Forge follow-up. Lower Phoenix count than you'd usually expect out of a Phoenix opener, and a second Forge as well. That is such a smart play. I really like that as a build order pick on this particular map. A relatively large map with an easy to defend ramp, easy to defend fort base, or perhaps we should call it a hard to attack fort base for the Terran, and thus pretty easy to defend as well. You know, these things tend to go hand in hand. Let's see how Clem is going to follow this up, as these guys have played each other in the past, and I recall a game not so long ago, I want to say a week and a half ago, in which Clem went for a 4-Rex type of all-in on this map, where Harstem played the exact same double forge type of strategy. Back then, Clem did end up winning, but Harstem with some big blunders. Perhaps that's the reason why he decides to play the same strat again, because he believed that if he doesn't make those blunders again, this is actually a really good build for the map. Now, he's setting up good vision as well everywhere. One of the things that Clem loves to do against Protoss is just getting single medevac drops in, whether that's with 8 Marines, or with 2 mines, or with 17 mines. Well, he just likes running around with low amounts of units and trying to poke holes in the opponent's defense. Command center going down in the main. Harstem completely unaware of that right now. Also skipping the robotics facility in favor of more Phoenixes. Another thing we should note is that there are currently no Zealot run-bys whatsoever out on the map. Is this a mistake? Perhaps it is, actually. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded seeing some Zealot run-bys already being set up, or just a Zealot over here stopping these Marines from scouting all that much. It's Clem fairly in the dark at the moment, and if you can keep your opponent in the dark, that's great, of course. Cannon going up in the natural, expecting some of these single medevac drops that I was talking about earlier. Cannon in front here as well. Now, of course, this is all great and fun if your opponent does go for these drops. But for now, Clem seems to be willing to just mess up an army and go for, well, kind of a big frontal attack. And in that case, this is wasted cash, and this is wasted cash. That's a lot of wasted cash right there. That's what? 300 minerals that you're not really using. Could have been 3 zealots or gateways. Could have been a prism for all I care. Lots of things that it could have been. But it's none of those things. Phoenix is now moving around, seeing no third base here whatsoever. Wanting to perhaps clear some of those reinforcements. And indeed we'll start working on these SCVs. Not going for the Marauders quite yet. Stasis does hit. That's going to buy Harstem a little bit of time here. Mine count is looking spicy. Perhaps this is a fight that Harstem can even potentially take. There are, 1-1 upgrades. He has 18 zealots. 6 phoenixes. Why not try? Harstem decides against it, probably because he has such a massive investment in that fort base, as well as into those upgrades. There's a bunch of sentries to win time, potentially, as phoenixes are now halfway across the map. Not quite sure what they're doing here. Zealot trying to take this watchtower. Good couple of force fields. That was a nice trade. I think there was a couple of marauders. We didn't quite catch that. But yeah, 1 marauder, 8 marines going down, as well as 5 zealots. Harstem, though, outmining his opponent. So he's going to be happy with most trades, to be quite honest. Here comes an attack. Harstem, without a revelation, so gets hit by 2 of these mine shots. Clem decides to turn around instantly. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how Harstem played this out. These mines are going to connect with the main army as well. Of course, still have some shenanigans going on over here. Sentries could perhaps use some force fields, would be good. Immortal now being targeted down. He's going to fall here. Sloppy play there, Harstem. At the same time, he might have killed a couple of mines over here. Probably was busy with something else that was very important. And of course, as long as he stays alive, this is a fine position. We'll end up losing 2-3 phoenixes here, though. That is sloppy. Does barely keep the Oracle alive, but some sloppy control here. Cleans up all the mines in the front. Has better upgrades. Of course, is still building these Immortals as well. 8 gateways. I'd love to see a 5th base, and indeed we see a probe heading over. After losing these phoenixes, though, these drops might become a little bit harder to deal with. Vision, phenomenal. What a great player Harstem is every now and again. I have to just admit, as he mines these minerals, not a huge fan of this probe showing his face. I feel like this was a great little hidden trick that he went for, but now Clem is like, hey, wait a second, a probe from there. I wonder if there's going to be a pylon. And of course there is a pylon. This could have had some serious good potential for Zealot run-bys in the future if Clem had not spotted that. But yeah, Harstem just kind of revealing his secret there. A fairly stupid thing to do, in my opinion. So he does start a prism, is down in supply, up in workers, and up a significant amount in upgrades. Up 2 upgrades right now. Starting 3-3 before his opponent even has an armory done. Look at that. No armory. The armory hasn't even started yet. This is a fantastic spot here for Harstem. Could potentially be fighting 3-3 versus 1-1 at some point. And that is something that we'd all want. Loving this revelation play. This is so smart. Doesn't want to show Clem that he has vision with the observer. If he lifts with these phoenixes, it is so obvious, like, oh, there's an observer here. But instead, uses the revelation. And as a result, this observer continues being super handy in providing lots of valuable intel. I still think that this 5th base is just a little late. Prism not being utilized right now either, as these zealots are moving in, are gonna get targeted down. Harstem trades 7-8 zealots there for 2 mines. That is generally considered a bad trade. So that's about 14 supply against 4. Prism inactive as well here in the top left. We're gonna keep an eye on that just in case it does decide to go in. But I just have a feeling that it might not. A little bit of flotation as well on the side of our Protoss player, who is mining a crap ton of cash, having trouble spending it. As we'll try and clean up this right side army. Of course, still feels comfortable here with the cannon and battery in the middle. Did lose some of his vision, though, there in the middle. Prism still inactive. Prism still absolutely inactive. Immortals also moving towards the right. It's an interesting call, I guess. Not the biggest fan of that. Left side here is going to get cleaned vision-wise. There's no observer with this army right now. And this is actually a very scary Terran force. Good set of force fields there. Is going to drain a lot of the energy out of the sentries as Phoenixes and Oracle make their way towards the middle of the map. Prism still inactive, and I think this is really a missed chance. There was no turret here. Good production for Harstem with the 9 gates and superior upgrades, which is still going to be the case, by the way. 3-3 soon against 1-1, which is god-awful here for Clam. And any zealots in a base, if they're up in upgrades, are so difficult to deal with. Clam moving out on the map right now. 3-3 not quite done yet. A couple of force fields could go down. No. Guardian shield around as well, of course, is going to be huge. Army supply for Harstem isn't big enough in my opinion, but the upgrades might just carry. Guardian Shield active as well. Clem does decide to fight and might just be winning this. His army supply perhaps enough as the Colossus coming in clutch here. +3 armor finishes up as well right now. Clem just down 4 upgrades fighting into Guardian Shield. And despite the the supply advantage does end up getting pushed back. Harstem now producing a prism, perhaps completely forgetting about the fact that he already had a prism out on the map. Now realizes it. It's like, oh, wait a second. That's a cool unit. I perhaps could have used that for the past 4 minutes while it was idling there in the top left. That's not quite the case. Harstem still in a good position. A little bit low on the worker count. A little bit slow at taking the 5th. A little bit slow at taking the 6th base. Of course, it has been a very active game with Clem being all over the map. Dark spot here in Harstem's defense. His ring of vision not quite complete. And as a result, he's going to lose a couple of buildings and perhaps even some zealots. Prism now getting spotted by this command center. Clem expanding rapidly now that he has his 4th down, instantly started his 5th. This prism is going to get pushed back as well over here, as might even end up dying, honestly. Harstem with a good enough response for now. Still trying to get a 6th base, I think. Maybe towards the left side. It's going to set up on the bottom right, probably because this is taking a lot of time to kind of, you know, take out. Gravitic Drive on the way, 3 Vikings, a Liberator, +1 ship weapons as well. Harstem even getting shield upgrades, which is honestly kind of a waste of cash because there's always going to be EMPs. Shield upgrades are, yeah, just in my opinion, a massive waste of money. I'm not sure why he's doing that. I haven't seen him do this before. Perhaps he's nervous or he has significant brain damage. One of these options, and more likely the latter, honestly, than the former. 6th base is going up here. Planetary also about to finish up. Nice blink. Going to pick off a Viking. One of the things that Clem does do is that he has all of his units in one massive control group most of the time. That sometimes does make that Viking micro a little bit difficult for him. Makes it easy for the TOS to fight against. Of course, Harstem still in an upgrade lead. Does have a significantly worse army though in my mind. Lots of zealots in there. Prism does enter the main base and then leave the main base. This is a move that I like. Rather than keeping the Prism alive and letting it die, he says, hey, you know what? I want that Prism to go back again. Maybe even join up with the main army here. I wouldn't mind that at all. Because there's a significant force in the main right now. I would have actually loved that. A Prism with this main army while pushing in. Oh yeah, that would have been sick. Look how much supply is in the main. And don't forget, Clem is still down 2 upgrades. There is a mine here spotting absolutely everything. Purification Nova is going to come out. We'll clean that up. Now we have some defensive rotations coming out. Prism once again going in over here. You have an interesting move with these zealots as well. Love to see it. Prism does go in. Zealots start focusing the eBay. I don't mind that at all, actually. Actually, I like that. I think that is a good call. Taking out the upgrade. Sadly, we'll get the armor rather than the attack upgrade. At the same time, Zealots here moving in forward. Disruptor count still fairly low on the side of Harstem, as well as his gas count. Has 11 gateways. Wouldn't mind seeing him go up to like 12 or even 14. If you have 3k in the bank anyway. That's well, not that much of a chaotic base, so should be possible. Gonna get caught out in the middle of the map here with these disruptors a little bit too far back to truly zone this out. No Prism to help out either. Prism does go back into the main base, and this is a move that I'm a huge fan of. Let's see if he managed to get a Zealot Warping in during the aggression that he's facing in the middle as well. Yes, he does. And it's going to take out a lot of buildings here. Now starts taking out the +3 as well. Perhaps could even go for the armory. +2 ship weapons, most likely. Just barely going to finish up. That is a huge duo over here. Because +3 ship weapons is just brilliant on Liberators, as well as on Vikings, of course. Harstem is getting pushed back over here. Still active in the main base. Has lost his Prism. Wouldn't have minded seeing a couple of Stalkers to perhaps deal with Vikings either. That is not quite the case, though, as no, this Purification Nova is going to be brilliant. Takes out a lot of these Ghosts as well as these Marauders, as that might just keep our Dutch Protoss player in the game. After a couple of bad trades in the middle, manages to semi-stabilize here. Still on a low worker count, or again on a low worker count as he's quickly rebuilding. No 7th base yet, and the issue here just, I think, is an issue of speed, where the expansions aren't being taken quick enough. He had such a good lead with these upgrades, up 4 upgrades, did not manage to utilize that. Playing a phenomenal game nonetheless, but not quite good enough so far to break Clem, despite the advantage. Once again, Zealot run-by is going to get cleared. Overall resources lost 5k in favor of Clem. Here comes Harstem. Does have a couple of force fields. Does have a couple of zoning disruptors. Just barely doesn't manage to close the line of force fields. So frustrating. It could have been a big deal. Now decides to jump on top of this planetary as well as the command center. We have a wild goose chase. And Harstem being the goose. And Clem being the wild chaser. Purification Nova barely going to miss these Vikings. Another Prism has arrived here. I'm not quite sure what it's doing, but it is around, so that is nice, I guess. If you want reinforcements, I mean, that is quite nice. Zealot's now being sent towards the far right side as a 6th base has been spotted by Harstem. Good vision all around. I think it's one of the things he's done very well so far in this game. Just getting that vision absolutely everywhere. As this Zealot run by, this is a lot of Zealots. That is a lot of Zealots, actually. That is 23 Zealots, and they're going to force a cancel temporarily. Might take out this sensor tower, a couple of turrets will go down. This is all very nice, creating some space as well on the far left side. Ideally, Harstem would lose a couple of them Zealots, so he can build more disruptors in here as well. We don't have a Dark Shrine yet. We don't really have a lot of gas in general. I think this is an issue that Harstem might be struggling with here. It's getting that gas. There's not enough Purification Novas either. Loses 2-3 disruptors. Will take out the base, though. As he's forced back home, but this is a scary trade. Not necessarily resources lost-wise. Oh, boom! That's a big Purification Nova. That makes up for the mistakes from earlier. Zealot once again tried going in, keeping the right side army as well as a bunch of Liberators pretty busy. Zealot's now... yeah, that ain't good. Loses 5, 6, 7 Zealots there pretty much for free. It's kind of sloppy, although Harstem's still up in mining. Not quite great. Gets a couple of Stalkers in there as well, a couple of Zealots on that far right side. Wonder if he wants to clear perhaps this planetary. It seems like a wild move, and not a very good wild move. Big blink forward on the left side though, and a lot of the supply is in air units. Look at that, 6 Vikings, 11 Libs. Planetary has gone down, so these Zealots are having a blast as well. These Zealots are, well, could be having more of a blast, but they aren't currently. Harstem's army is kind of wank though. 5 Disruptors, 19 Stalkers, 19 Zealots. Lots of probes for the first time. Base is being taken. Gas is being saturated. This is what I like to see. Some slight oversaturation over here. These gases still not mining. This gas not mining. We have a fight in the middle of the map. Purification Novas not getting the connections they need. At the same time, though, we have a big attack on the far left. And Harstem needs to blink in forward to get rid of those Liberators. We'll get rid of those Libs. At the same time, Clem is getting rid of a lot of those Disruptors. Overall, perhaps a good trade, though. Even in cost efficiency, but taking out this base versus not losing a base quite yet, that's always going to be good. Clam here being very aggressive as well as a result. CC maybe in some trouble. I wonder if Clem is going to be capable of repairing that as the Zealots. They don't quite take out these SCVs. Stalkers blink forward, take out the command center. At the same time, we have another engagement in the middle. It's a little bit too much going on here for me, but these players seem to be well aware of everything that's kicking off. Stalkers actually do manage to stay alive, which is a nice little thing here for Harstem as he warps in a bunch more. Extra gas is really coming in handy here. Should probably start taking out these rocks. No, instead just blinks forward. I mean, only 3 Liberators on that top side. Probably a good call, as Ghosts are hitting their EMPs. Oh, wait, the test ship weapons actually did end up getting cancelled? I didn't even realize that. Oh, wow, that is a very big deal. That was a very big deal indeed. And now Harstem taking an insane fight here, pushing this back completely, up 50 supply. Almost in an unlosable position, one could say. As he is, huge bank, big army, lacking disruptors perhaps, just a tiny tad, just lacking them disruptors. And he has one of Clem's bases. Oh, no, no. Clement's going to lose a couple of these medevacs here as well. He's buying some time, though, and that's very valuable time that he's buying. Gonna have to be honest about that. Because if Harstem would have been capable of just straight up moving across the map, which maybe he could have, had he had a slightly better split off, then yeah, that would have been kind of nice. Gonna get that medevac pickup. Oh, here comes an attack. This seems highly idiotic, as you lose a couple of Zealots. Like it might have something to do with these rocks here, so mis-rallying. Dark Shrine now being added in as well. His right side base perhaps in some trouble. Harstem does need to strike back though. His left side needs to go down. Gold perhaps could be denied. Loses a base on the right. Will kill this one, I do believe in it. A couple of zealots and a couple. This is the entire army. Actually, not the entire army. This is a nice split up. This is a large split up. Because not only is he going to get the lip, he's going to get the orbital command. And that means there's no more orbital commands to saturate that base. This base also under heavy fire here. Harstem has lost that right side base. This base, however, very secure. Very, very secure. Void Ray here to deal with, I guess, lips. Maybe lips in that space. It's the only thing really that makes sense to me, as a couple of Stalkers hold positioning in this general area. Planetary gets taken out. Stalkers do need to leave here. Harstem, this is not the fight you want to be taking right now. Once again, just losing slightly too many gateway units in a lot of these engagements. Look at that. Resources lost so freaking close right now, and it always was in favor of Clem. So the trades are good. The income is looking good. Does need this left side base pretty badly, though. And I love that there's still an army on that left side as well for Harstem. Just saying, hey, I'm keeping control, firm control of this game. And as long as there's a gate army there, you have some cannons, some batteries to back up to, I do believe that this is going to be fine. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of observers, by the way. Maybe even with the observer speed. Ooh, big blink forward. Perhaps a bad blink forward, actually. As none of these purification novas hit either. That one does get a couple of marauders. This one hardly gets anything. That's the last shot there. And that means that, oh no. That means that someone's in trouble, and it's not Clem, as all of these disruptors are going to get taken out. The resources lost still so freaking close. Clem is getting blasted here by a single zealot, or at least felt like he was getting blasted. He's gonna return back home to deal with this stalker attack. And I think that is a saving grace there for Harstem, who had 0 disruptors remaining. Sends in a DT right now to start harassing this planetary. So there is no turret. Orbital count only at 3 as well, so not that many scans. Of course, with EMPs, you should be capable of keeping it alive. You do get that one scan that is still available. Hate to see it there. Left side base now being saturated. Get some fights in the middle of the map. There's not enough disruptors for Harstem here to take a serious engagement. I think this is a mistake here, being this aggressive into this general area. I really don't like it. As a Liberator moves over towards the far left side. Colossus on the way, which I think is a very good call. Harstem realizing, hey, wait a second, that's a lot of Marines in your army. Gateway units aren't great against Marines, but Colossus are pretty freaking powerful against Marines. You do have a Liberator here setting up on the far left right now. I still would love to see a couple more disruptors now. Just going down. We have a massive split off towards the far left. Beautiful move. Honestly, great play here by Clam. Harstem not ready for this particular area split off. Had units over here to spot. Doesn't see this coming, and as a result is just going to not only lose these probes, but also this base. And that pretty much ties up this game again, making it extremely close. Just extremely close. I'd love to see an observer at some point to deal with this mine. This mine has 2 kills. It's not a whole lot, but still, should have only been 1. It should be cleaned up. I mean, this boy has 5. And it's one of these issues that's so hard to deal with. Like, it takes so much attention to get an observer, send it to the right spot. We have a little bit of an engagement over here. This looks quite okay for Harstem. At the same time, Clem's doing fine. Man, Terran armies really pack a punch once they're... once the Terran is maxed out. Very powerful. This base, by the way, not really protected. There's no mines, no liberators. If there was cash for like 10, 12 DTs here, that would be a gone base. You know, that base would be out right now. It ain't here no more. That's not the case, because that base is still here. It's Liberators now pushing this back. One of the problems that all that thought is we have a little bit of an engagement here. Purification Novas kind of hitting, but also not really. Not huge hits. We're out of Purification Novas again. Now we're getting another one. The moment you run out of these Disruptor Balls, that's a serious issue here. Every single time that has happened so far. Yes, DT on the far right side is being a good boy. A very good boy. Trying to deny a base. Isn't even there yet. There's an assimilator there as well. Scouting assimilator from earlier. DT just checking, making sure nothing weird's going on over here. Split off of an army out of Clam. What I was gonna say is that this is actually a fairly weird engagement, or a fairly weird move out. There's no ghosts in this army that have EMPs. And that means it's just a bio army against Colossus. In that case, Colossus are pretty freaking powerful. If there's no ghosts, no Vikings, like yeah. Colossus aren't great, but even a Colossus can beat that. Even a Colossus. As Harstem's army is looking quite powerful. Medevac's largely empty. No Caduceus reactor has been researched yet for that extra energy regeneration. There's no blink on these DTs, by the way. Perhaps a mistake, perhaps not. Clem has a semi-split army. Disruptor count only at 5, just a little bit too low. I'd love to see 6 or 7. I think that is such a key number here. That forces out high Liberator counts. And once there are high Liberator counts, multitasking becomes very difficult for the Terran because they don't have enough bio for it. And that is a good position to be in as a toss. If the Terran can multitask on a large map, Terran tends to be in trouble because they can't keep the outside bases alive. Just Liberators don't deal well with like high Stalker Zealot numbers. Disruptors deal very well with bio most of the time. This is some nice zoning, by the way. Still has those Colossus alive as well as Vikings are being added into the mix. I love those Purification Novas. That's the right side Zealot DT combination. DT just right-clicking the CC. There's a couple of libs moving forward. Can we get some good Purification Novas? We can't really. Guardian Shield is active though. And that's not really hitting anything. More Disruptors coming in. Could they hit? Could they get the kills they need? The answer is meh. CC has been lifted. DT going absolutely ham over here. Super Battery helping out as well. Clem not paying attention. Getting out multitasked here by the old Protoss player. Left side base once again mining as well. As this base is about to die. If he ain't careful, even if he is careful, might just die. Holy crap, that bad boy is burning down, mate. Gotta do something. If I gotta repair that. Absolutely gotta repair that. But this game has been so active. Honestly, the past 15 minutes have just been constant fighting here. Absolutely epic gameplay. The base is gonna get taken out here on the right side by a good Stalker Zealot DT little attack. And now Harstem once again up 20-ish workers, up in income. We have a mine moving in here. That is such a cute little play. I hadn't even seen that. Oh no. Okay, there comes the cannon instantly. Harstem with a quick response. Very nice. Love to see it. Love to see it. Disruptor count down to 5 again. Yeah, 5 is just not a good number. I think you need 7. 7, you start feeling comfortable as a toss, but 5, you're like, not right now. This is also a bad position, perhaps. Bad position. Kind of open here. Look at it. Oh my gosh, it's delicious, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. That is so crazy. Harstem decides that he can move forward a little bit. I'm not entirely sure about that one, Chief. He's pushing it back. He's gonna try to hit perhaps a Purification Nova. I think he knows he's outmining his opponent. Doesn't mean you can start taking terrible fights, mate. Oh, Vikings also moving in right now. And that's really the last mining base. Purification Novas being shot 3 at a time. Here comes another zoning one. One more. That's the final one. As the Planetary gets taken out, though, the recall gets utilized. And I think it's too late. It's going to lose 5 out of the 6 Disruptors there. Gets the recall 1 back home. And now a little bit of a misrally as well. That was a huge blunder. Taking out that Planetary was huge. In a great rotation. Losing this base sucks. Not the end of the world, though, if you take out this bad boy. Because you still have... No, actually, it was kind of the end of the world. This was the freshest base. No, this was a... The rotation was nice, but he should have dealt with this. He really should have dealt with the left side. That had priority, and losing the Disruptor sucked. Not the end of the game quite yet, though. Although, without Disruptors, finding a Liberator, Ghost, Marauder, Marine army tends to be quite difficult. But... yeah, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be real hard. There's hardly any mining for Clem. There's hardly any mining for Harstem as well. It's both players just... yeah, they're stuck without any resources, really. This is it. 500 minerals. That is it when it comes to the money. Disruptors being produced 3 at a time. So it's going to go up to 5. What do we have on the side of Clem? We have Ghost. We have Liberators. We have good units coming out here. He's getting an army of powerful dudes. Clem really, it's mispositioned, isn't it, mate? It's one to the left, and it should be, but not the end of the world. Income still fairly close. Oh, we still have 1 base over here. Well, I kind of forgot about that. Disruptor count, once again, not at that magic number of... I really think 7 is the magic number against people that know how to micro. Against people that don't know how to micro, 2 is enough. You know, you just shoot 2 and you kill half of their army. But against these high-level players, I really think you need like 6 or 7. Harstem every time fighting with 5 is just fighting him in the bum a little bit. Fighting him in the bum. Void Ray in the middle of nowhere. Spots it. Oh my god, both of these guys playing so freaking well right now. Moves the Void Ray back because I think he saw the fly over with the DT. He still has that DT over there, of course. This is a good little fight. I'm sorry I missed the start of that. Purification Nova boys are being taken out. There are 6 Disruptors out on the map right now. We just throw a couple of Furies. Yeah, there we go. just get 1 or 2 kills, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. Could we get that? Could we get that? Could we get that? Yeah. Kinda no. Kinda no, actually. Get some Marauders here. Starts taking out these rocks, which I think is a cool call, actually. Almost always a Purification Nova available. Taking out these rocks, perhaps for a potential flanking. Flanking's always cool. These DTs have taken out 12 more workers. Income actually in favor of Harstem right now. Here comes a jump on top of these... What? That must have been like 0.1 seconds. We'll have a look after this game ends. That was going to be the biggest Purification Nova in the world. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Harstem still chasing this army though, is going for it. Oh, genius. Insane pickup. Harstem targets the wrong medevac. Oh my god, some insanely tense moments here. As, oh my god. Holy cow. And this base is being mined out. Disruptors being downed right now. 2 more on the way. This base is still mining, but it's also close to running out. There's 1 patch. Still alive, I guess. Okay, here comes a flank out of Clem, maybe. Oh, Vikings are here too. This is not enough disruptors, is it? Unless Clem messes it up. I don't think he's going to, though. EMP is coming from the side. Good blink as a zoning blink, but oh my god. Disruptor gets sniped once again just before it gets the hit. 90 army supply to 40. And I think this is actually going to be it. 4 disruptors versus a massive army. GG gets called, and I just want to see that 1 Purification Nova. That was not okay. There's this one. Okay, can I see what the timing is on these Purification Novas or no? Is that how it works? I think it was that one. A little bit slower. I don't think I can select those Purification Novas to see how much time is left, but you can get a decent estimate. Which one is it? Let's have a look. I think it's this one, right? So it's a real chaos, honestly. It's hard to see. Oh my god, this is so many freaking... Okay, here I can see it. You see this ball? See this ball? That's the timer on that thing. So he turns around to try and snipe it. Oh, it would have flown too far anyway? Yeah, it would have been too far anyway. No, it actually re-microed it. Look at this. It's just like 0.1. It's legit 0.1. This would have been what? 1, 2, a couple of ghosts, 4 marauders. I think I can blink into this after. I mean, I think Harstem can blink into this after, and then he might still win. God, what a sick game. I actually think this was a very good game. I don't want to call it Game of the Year of a game where I'm involved in, but this was really, really sick. Yeah. Big lead for Harstem initially. Some leads in the mid game, but not quite good enough to take it home there. That is going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.